That's cool. Thanks.
Hold up. How come you record everything? Record.
Yeah.
You have your own house?
Record the whole thing.
So once you find your phone file, so you have all your phone stuff here?
Well, that's, wait.
No tape.
No.
There's one there, and there's nothing there. Is this it?
The silver one. Oh, sorry. Gold one doesn't work.
What?
This
I
one.
know.
Don't worry, I'm on it. It won't
So
hurt.
right now this is zip, so I'm gonna unzip this.
Using your head as a highlight.
Alright, so there we go.
Just have to take notes.
Now you have the uncompressed file, so it's not going to give you any problems. Alright, so once you have this done, you know, if one of you just records it, you don't all have to stand there.
I'm recording first.
Alright. So what you want to do, the first step up there is you got to create a new assembly file. Can you guys see with your iPads there? So I created a new assembly file, okay? So it's just a new assembly. I'm going to place down the iPhone itself. Alright, so I have to navigate over to the iPhone. Hers is underneath its desktop and phone, what's your choosing?
I think it's phone.
This phone? No, thank you. Yeah, I can't stand using that trackpad. And which one, Angela?
Silver.
Silver.
Alright, so here we go. So you can place that down anywhere. And if you think about it for a second. Right click OK. Now so right now we have the phone file, we have an assembly file, it's two. Third one's going to be that mid-step file that we only use as a placeholder. We have to create that file, and then we have to call it something. So that's just a placeholder. So call that file something. Angela.
File 1.
Just typing in.
Type.
Oh, okay.
All right, and then okay. Now remember, start on the back of the phone so you're all starting in the same spot. So I'm going to click here to start the file on the back of the phone. Now notice that I go into this file 1 here. I'm no longer in an assembly. I go into this part file. All right, and I'm building the part file off of this reference file. So now it's a reference of it. I have to start a 2D sketch, and again, just go off the back of the phone so that way, mainly just for consistency's sake. So here we go, at the back of the phone. What I want to do now is I want to project the geometry of the outside of the phone. So, of the very outside edges. 1, 2, where's it? 3, 4, okay? Also, if I want to cut the camera out at this time, I can, and do that in one step. So then I'm just going to project that geometry as well. Just the camera and the flash and the sensor, okay? Then I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to use all these as references. So I'm going to highlight this whole thing, right-click, construction. So now I have all construction lines as a reference, okay? I want an envelope that's exactly the same size as that phone, except I'm going to go ahead and cut this out at the same time. So I'm going to grab a circle. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, so I'll call that, I don't know. I want to get big enough, so I'll call it 0.4. That'll be good. And then I'll take another one here. I'm going to line up the center. See how the little dashes there? Center to the center. Make it nice and even. And what did I make that? 0.4. And I'm going to connect this to make a slot. Now this is a little bit big. You can probably go a little bit smaller on this slot and still be okay. So it's up to you what size you want this slot to be. I'm going to clean it up by trimming it. So trim all this stuff out. The next step I'm going to do is I need to create an envelope the same exact size as this phone. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool, and when I get close to lining up here, you see the little dots down to the outside, and now I have that corner. Click once, zoom out, zoom back in up over here, and outside, snaps right to it, click, finish my sketch. Alright, now I want to create a solid that's the same exact size as the phone. So I'm going to extrude, select my geometry. Notice it already has the cutout for the camera. Right? And I want to go 2. I don't want to go a distance. I want to go 2 to the exact front of the phone. Alright, so whatever sticks out the most on the front here. So, let's see. There. Click OK. And now I have something that's the same exact size as that phone, see? And you can barely see the phone sticking through. I'm going to hit the return. And now I'm going back into my assembly, and you can see the iPhone is laid perfectly over exactly all the way around. See that? The buttons still stick out a little bit, which is fine. I'm just concerned about the body itself. Now I need to go 50 thousandths bigger on all sides. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 sides. I want 50 thousandths on each side. Up there in your notes. Alright? How do we do that? Well, I want to go back into my part file. So where's my part? My file 1. And I want to make all of this bigger. So I'm going to go over here, direct, alright, size, faces, offset. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one selected. Now, so now I select the 6 sides. I'm going to start pulling this off. And I want this to be 0.050, or 50 thousandths. And it gets bigger, 50 thousandths in all directions. I'm going to click return. And now you can see the iPhone inside of that. And there's the camera, and there's the hole for the camera and the flash.
Beautiful.
That's 3 files, and the 4th file. So I'm going to save this, alright, and this is going to be in that same folder. That's fine, I'll save it. Now, last step to create our phone case. I'm going to grab a new file, a brand new file. This new file is going to be a new part. This is our case right now. This is our case. So I have to derive the part, okay? There's derive. I want to derive it from our assembly, okay? And I want that mid-step file, whatever we did in that mid-step, to be positive. I want the phone to be negative. Now we have that negative. Click OK. And now we have an indentation of that phone here. Now, how do you know what's the front, what's the back of the phone? Well, you notice we started on the back of the phone, and you can see the plane right here. That was created from that. So that's the back of the phone. So I'm going to go to the front of the phone. And I'm going to put a new sketch on the front of the phone. Then I'm going to project geometry. And now, as long as we did this correctly, we should be able to grab the shape of the screen, the home screen. So this is all separate here from. So as long as this is right. There we go.
Cut it out.
Okay. And depending on the quality of your, I'm going to cut. We did 50,000. So depending on the quality of your model, your mileage may vary on this one. 50,000, cut. And now you can see everything from the inside of this phone. So you can see like the holes for the speakers they have here at the bottom and the plugs at the bottom. All those indentations. Now you can project all of that geometry for all the rest of your slots.
And you do the same thing like you did for the back.
Yep. And then you should see something in the top here, where you see like for like the SIM slot here. All right.
Yes.
And then you guys know how to clean all that up.
Yeah.
Good.
It's the same
Thank
thing
you.
as when you take off the